Welcome to Game Plan Africa. My name is Charles. I am one of your hosts. Today we have a special guest. We have actually, if you guys noticed, I have been away from Game Plan Africa for some time. We took a break to take care of personal and technical stuff. But because of this guest, I had to come out of the break and talk to him. Today we have Luke Leyland, aka Dan Bature, with us. Welcome to the pod, man. I am very excited to have you, especially now that Dan Bature Kudawa is available on Prime. For those of you that don't know, let me give a little bit background on what Dan Bature Kudawa is. It's a young man that came all the way from Liverpool and to Katsina in Nigeria to participate in a sport, in a martial arts sports called Dambe in Nigeria. He came, he went through all the process and participated. So that's what the film is about. He will talk more about it as we move ahead. So now that the film is out to the public, everybody can see it, especially in the US and UK. How are you feeling now, Luke?
Yeah, I'm feeling very positive. It's a strange feeling seeing it on Amazon Prime. This is something I'm a fan of Prime, and me and my girlfriend and the family all watch Prime. So seeing me, up there on continue watching next to the Osbournes is absolutely crazy. But yeah, it's something
it is crazy, right? It's funny you say that because when I see my films on Prime or any other platform and I see it next to another film, then I'm like, it's crazy that I'm looking at this, but go ahead.
Looking at it, I'm in two parts. One part is like, wow, look at this is on Prime and this, that and the other. And I'm almost starstruck of the whole experience. But then the other side is, you know what, we've worked so hard, we've traveled so far and we've gone through, one hell of a journey. So, it deserves to be on a platform where everybody can see, and that's where it is now. And yeah, I'm proud of the journey, and I'm proud of where it is now.
All right, take us back to the beginning of the whole thing, right? I remember coming on board as director of this film, and when I was told about the film, I was like, "This guy is crazy. What do you mean? This guy is coming from the UK. Is he Nigerian? No, he's not. He's coming from the UK to participate in Dambe. First of all, I think people that participate in Dambe are, like they are up there. It's a crazy sport that not everybody can participate in. So not just that, somebody coming all the way to participate in it. So what made you say yes to this?
It was quite a while back, a few years ago. I remember watching a documentary on, I can't remember what sport it was, but it had a journalist travel out to this certain country and he was documenting the sport, and he took part in the training and everything else. And he got all the way to the final day where a fight was meant to take place, and he stepped aside and let someone else jump in and take part. And I remember being so angry at the TV, thinking, we've just done this, great documentary, and it was years and years ago. I can't remember the name of it, but you've gone all that way and you didn't go through to the final bit. And yeah, I remember watching, thinking, do you know what? Like, if someone was doing something like this, they should go all the way and give their honest opinion and experience on what they're seeing and feeling. So I started thinking, well, why don't I do something like this? But I didn't really know on where to start. I didn't have any experience in filming, and I didn't really, from the community I'm from, we didn't really know anyone that was doing anything like that, especially around filming. So I just had one of my friends, I could come up with an idea to start a little bit of, it was boxing, and just basically record me with a little camera. And it didn't really work out too well. We ran out of time and a few other things. And I came back to mine. I was a little bit defeated, thinking, what else am I going to do now? Because this was something I really wanted to do that was eating away at me. And then eventually I was on YouTube, just looking through different things. And this crazy sport came up, which I thought it was a film. I always say this because I did. I thought it was a cut scene of a film. And then when I realised it was real, I thought, what is this crazy sport? And then I just started watching more of it. And then eventually I became a fan. I knew most of the fighters that I was watching, and I knew the promotions. And eventually, I just thought, you know what? I've got nothing else really here. I'm not doing anything else around filming now. Why don't I just reach out and just ask a question? And that's what I did. And they didn't put the phone down on me. They didn't just tell me to go away. They wanted to listen to what I had to say. And I think from there, the rest is history.
During filming, I have my special personal stories about filming, right? I've done films, right? I've done documentaries, especially. And this is up there in the documentaries that I have directed or produced on. It's for sure, it's a career-changing film for me. And also it's one that taught me a lot of things. I always learn when I'm actually, doing my films. But my question to you is, was there a time during filming where you were like, what have I gotten myself into?
Yeah, that was pretty much as soon as I landed in Lagos, to be honest. No, to be fair, like when you really want to do something and you really try your hardest to take part in something, and eventually you make it there. I think there always is a moment where you think, whoa, what is actually going on? The only experience I really had was, as I say, in front of like a little camera, trying to walk into a gym and trying to learn the art of boxing. So going from that to landing in Nigeria, and then all these cameras, and then the sound, and then yourself running up and down saying, this way and that. It was a learning experience for me. But I loved every second of it. I wanted to film 24/7, even when I was sleeping, because I was just absorbing so much. I was learning so much from you and the crew and everything else, and I loved it. I really did love it, and I'm excited to say I've got that experience now, and that'll stay with me into the next one. So.
To follow on to that question is, I know you landed in Lagos, and then we moved from Lagos to Kano, and from Kano to Katsina. Not to, make you go into every detail so that people can watch the film, but how did the locals in Katsina receive you? How was that experience? What did you expect, and how did it turn out to be? Especially in Katsina. Forget Lagos and Kano, because majority of the time you were in Katsina. How did people from Katsina receive you?
So before going to Katsina, I had to do a lot of research on different things, and the research that I got was it took me to our government website, and it basically said, with that area being an area that our government was quite concerned about, that made me have concerns as well. But I knew this was.
This is the government of the UK, right?
Of the UK, yeah. There's a government website that you can get a lot of advice from and different things.
Like travel advisory?
Yeah, exactly that. And basically there was a lot of areas where it would say, if you are going to go there, seek advice. And there was some areas where it was highlighted in red, and it said, advised against all travel. And Katsina was one of them areas. And, I think because of, they have gone through some unrest there, which I think is fair to say. But when I eventually got there, I wasn't sure of how they were going to receive me. I didn't know it was going to be, they were underneath the idea of me going there to either steal the sport or something. I didn't know what to expect. Eventually, when I got there, and when I walked onto the sand with the coach, and he introduced me and everything else, it was mixed. There were some people that I could see that were really curious about why I was there and what my intentions were, and there was others that were basically thanking me for being there and taking an interest in the sport. So I've got to say, after the fight, I know I'm putting forward a bit here, but after the fight, I thought everyone would basically just forget me and walk off. And they didn't. They did quite the opposite. They followed me out. They were thanking me. They were shaking my hand, taking pictures. And I always like to say, in fact, I'm not going to say this bit because it might be a spoiler for people, but right. They received me very well, and I think I won the hearts of the people there, and I'm very proud of that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I like that you said that, just because there's always this misconception about Nigeria. Nigeria has, to be honest, Nigeria has its fair share of unrest in some areas. It's not just Nigeria, some other parts of Africa. There are places where even me as a Nigerian wouldn't visit, right? I had my concerns too when we were going to go up to Katsina. It was my first time visiting Katsina. But when we were filming, when the whole thing was going on, remember I pulled you to the side and said, this is more than I thought. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is, I didn't expect this hospitality, and it was safe, knock on wood, and hopefully it stays like that. I told you there are Nigerians that, or when you tell them that you're going to Katsina, they get really worried, about, from other parts of Nigeria. But most of them are things that are exaggerated, misconceptions, things that people, are blowing out of proportion. So
yes.
Yeah, I love that you have these beautiful things to say about Katsina and other parts of Nigeria. I know it's going from Lagos to Katsina, totally different experiences, right? I know that Lagos is fast paced. Katsina was more reserved and all of that.
No, I was just going to say with just talking about the people of Katsina there. I always put on my Instagram. I miss the people of the north. Because it was just the way they took me in and with the experience that they've left me with is it was beautiful, man.
I like it. And I still see the outpouring of love that's still coming from there even after the film is out. After the thing was done, it's like a year and a half now, and people are still you have a number of fans there in Katsina, so it's beautiful. It's a beautiful. I love Katsina. I would visit again, go back or something. But tell me, is there something that really surprised you about Dambe? Something that you studied, you did all your research and everything, but when it was actually time, I know we don't want to spoil the film for people that will watch it. It's on Prime, by the way. I'm gonna talk about that. But is there something about the sport that you were like, this is different?
Yeah, so going over, all you see, one of the things that I've noticed is the kara, the rope that they put on. So automatically, you think you just make a fist and that you wrap your fist like this. And that's not true. They actually hold their fist in a certain way. Mm-hmm. And how they hold it is they will put the thumb in like this. Now, sometimes this could be for certain things, whether it's holding a charm or something else, but they actually have the fist like this, and then they'll wrap the kara around the fist like that. Mm-hmm. That was one thing that really shocked me because I'm so used to just holding a normal fist. Mm-hmm. With that, I thought, oh no, am I going to break my thumb, or is this what's going to happen? But no, it's just that was a thing that shocked me. No, I think with the likes of the jazz or the juju, mm-hmm. Them kind of practices as well. I mean, that is a true belief there. That is an honest belief that they truly believe in, and I think I didn't expect the power of belief that people had around that. That was another thing that shocked me as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy has some juju in him. So don't mess with him. If he one blow,
7 die.
You don't want to mess with him. Yo, anybody, if you know what a juju is, right? Or let me use my accent, juju. If you know what juju is, you don't want to mess with him because this guy has some things that if you watch the film, you see what I'm talking about.
I've actually got some of the juju here. You want me to
bring it.
Oh, it's right here, mate. It's right behind me, so it's with me. You ready? Let me know and I'll get it, man.
You mentioned you were worried about injuring your thumb. That actually is a good segue because I have a question about injuries. Do you have any injuries from this, from the fight or training or whatever that you want to disclose? That you honestly had any life-changing injuries, or when it could also be mental?
I didn't have any really long-lasting, but obviously I got a little bit of a cut to the eye. That was pretty straightforward for me. That I expected things like that to happen. There was my back. when after the fight, I was lying on the bed and I felt a little bit of a stiffness in my back, so I got up and moved around. The next day, my back was total stiff, and then the days from there, my back was just gone. So even just getting into a car, I had to kind of straighten out. Anyone that's like kind of had a back issue, I've never had a back issue, but I had to kind of straighten out when I was sitting in the car, and that lasted all the way until I got back home to the UK. So it just took a lot of stretching and a lot of moving, and I think that was just overexertion in the actual fight, with all the excitement and everything. The mental side to it. So what I was recently asked in an interview, and it was the first time that anyone's ever asked me. They said, "How was you when you went back home?" And no one ever asks me that, and it's such a significant part because when I got back home, I struggled quite a bit. And what I struggled with was I've just gone into this gladiatorial kind of amphitheatre looking arena with thousands of people in this historic fight to fight this other man in a sport that I've never been in before. And we've been at each other for most of the week. So it was a really serious situation. And then we had the cameras there and everything and interviews and I didn't know before going to that scene. I didn't know. It's a little bit dark, but I actually didn't know if I was going to be able to make it back or not because of the things that was apparent. It was the big fight. It was in a certain area that was going through unrest. How were they going to receive me? So I had to mentally prepare for all this, the fight, the recording of the documentary, and if I was going to make it back, that was in the back of my mind. So coming back. The first couple of days I was okay, but then there'd be like an odd night where I would wake up during the night and I would think I was late for the fight. So I'd get up and then my girlfriend would wake up and go, "What are you doing?" I'd be like, I'm late for the fight, and she'd be, "It's over, you're in England." And I'd be like, "I need to get a flight back because I'm going to be late. I need to fight Shagon." And she'd be like, "Stop." And then she'd speak to me and I'd click onto where I was then. But that would happen a couple of days after for some time. There'd be other times where again I'd wake up almost kind of like fighting, not actually fighting, but just kind of jolting, thinking I was still in the middle of it. There was times where I was in work and I was very unsettled. I wasn't settled back in this normal life. I'd just been in this place where it was manic and there was fans everywhere, and the importance of everything. And I was trying to represent myself well, my country well, my family well. I was trying best to win the fight, and then next thing it's just back into this quiet life, and I struggled, man. There's a couple of times that I was sent back home from work, but just because my head wasn't in there, and so I really feel for people when I was only gone just over 2 weeks into this mad arena. I really feel for people like yourselves and people that go away to these places of war and things like that for months and months and months on end, and then they come back, how to settle in. I've only had a very, very, very small experience there, and that's how it affected me. So people coming back from war-torn areas and things like that, I just can't imagine. So that was my kind of mental experience. I really had to dive into something when I come back to keep myself busy. Because it was just one of them. It was just I went from excitement to quiet, and I just don't think that's healthy sometimes.
This is very important, right? This is the first time I am asking you this question. I take mental health very seriously. I am one that goes through mental health as well, goes through it, and nothing crazy, but yeah, I'm in the forefront. And I know for sure, because when I was prepping for this, I was like, something that I've never really asked Luke, how he felt after the whole experience. People, if you've even watching the film, you'll probably just see, things that happen. But mentally, this is the first time you're coming to, I think that was your first time in Africa, right? And you're going to this place that was, people were scared to go to, and you're going to participate in a sport where I don't care how much of a combat sport person you are, it's not an easy sport. You could have easily gone into something crazy, right? But thankfully that didn't happen. So I said today I would ask you about it, how you went through it mentally. So I think my question to you now is, did you seek any professional help, or do you think it's something that doesn't need? And it's also, if it's a personal thing, you don't have to talk about it.
No, I'm an open book. No. So coming back, it was obvious that I was struggling with the quietness basically, and back to my normal life and my community. So I was speaking to the girlfriend, and I just said like I need to do something. So we discussed about just jumping straight into another sport and just seeing how that went. So kind of a cheap plug here. I jumped straight into another sport, which was pretty much had the same blueprint as Dan Bature Kudawa, about training and stuff, but this was about medieval combat. So I jumped straight into another sport. I got someone to record it for me, and that's out now on YouTube. It's called Forged in Stone. But yeah, that really helped because I was going back in front of the camera. I was going back into training and eating right, and that really helped. That really helped. And yeah, it's something that I think, you know, I think some fighters go through it. I think you just go on in this completely different world, and you're prepared to literally go through anything. You've got everybody, like the world, watching you. And, you know, this was documented, like it was, I was actually told it was actually broadcast to, was it like 1 million people or something at the time, or something over that? I don't know what it was, but people from my community don't experience anything like that. So going into that, I was prepared for it, I was ready, and, you know, we went through it. It was just coming back home I never prepared for. So just coming back home, and I said something to my girlfriend as well, and I don't know how, like, what this means, but the most quietest time that I had during that period was when it was after the fight and the cameras were there and Shagon was there, and I was speaking to the fans and greeting the fans. That was the most quietest time for me. But then coming back into that quiet area, that was loud, and it was just something that I noticed, and that was something that I spoke about with my girlfriend. But yeah, for me, it was just jumping straight back into action, and getting back into the gym again, and keeping focused on something. But it's not a normal thing that everyone goes through, so I think that was just the issue, really. And coming back and getting back into normality was just a little bit difficult, yeah.
This is where we get it got a little dark there, but let's make it a little lighter so people don't start, you know, we don't freak people out. Exactly, you know. I had fun filming this. I had fun. You know me, I find every funny situation, and, you know, that's what keeps me going. So I had fun, but I don't want to go into, it's not about me, it's about you. What was it like working with Charles Solomon and the crew? Do you have any funny stories behind the scenes? And also, this is the time, if you want to show us the juju, you can do it right now, because I know you say you have it around you. But tell us the experience of filming with. I don't want to speak about me on the third person, but myself and the crew, and also you can mention of course Africa Warriors as well. What was it like working with everybody on this?
Yeah, so working with Charles Solomon, you asked me if I needed mental health help. No, do you know what? It was great. It was great. It was again, you know, it was a first experience of something big like this, and this was a huge project for me. And as I said before, and I really do mean it, I learned so much off you just in them 2 and a bit weeks, just the way you were controlling stuff. You know, there was Swamzan and Swamzen. I learned so much off them as well, just watching them, speaking to them, the whole crew. You know, like Coyote, everybody that I was working with, I was absorbing loads. Yeah, the famous extra. You'll see him in every movie. Extra. He's in the back. But I just love being around everyone and just absorbing. I felt like I was absorbing everything all the time. And as I was saying, I'd still be there now recording if I could, because I just loved the experience, and the amount of stuff I was learning was so valuable to me and just amazing. African Warriors, you know, they got us all the way to Katsina. They got us involved in the fight. They done some good promotion. And they got us all the way back safely. So a big thank you to them. The whole experience really with working with you was awesome. And I even said to you, didn't I, coming back, I'd love to work with you on something again, because it was work, but it was, we had a laugh as well. There was some funny parts where, I couldn't even stop. And I think sometimes when me and you speak, Charles, it's nothing but trouble.
Yeah.
We're constantly laughing, and I think when you've got that chemistry with someone, you produce some good work, So yeah, it's really good. But,
I appreciate that. No, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. You were gonna say something.
The juju.
Yes, let's see it. Okay. This guy has a chest.
In here is some of the items that was used during the preparation to the Dambe fight. So I'll go through them. So before every Dambe fight, generally people will go through what we call jazz or juju. Some call it black magic. There's different names for it, and it's basically a preparation. And some people use like amulets, and they use different methods to gain a spiritual advantage towards their opponents. So I managed to keep some of mine. I don't know how I got it through customs. But yeah,
I was just thinking that. How did you? You know what? Let me not.
No.
Yeah, it's classified.
Anyway, it is classified. No, so it's only a couple of things, but
okay.
I managed to keep hold of my rope.
Okay.
So
that's very special. You should frame.
Man.
Well, you have all these things in a chest, so I was gonna say it's something that you will show your kids in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Well, every time you smell it, there's always a sweet smell to it, and that's one of the ingredients that they use during the preparation.
How about the spit? You remember the saliva?
The spit, yeah. The guy. I don't want to ruin it for people, but there is a bit of spit involved in it.
If you haven't seen this film, you should see it. It's very. There are some things you see, you're like, whoa, this is crazy. But yeah, you should go see it.
Yeah.
It's on Prime.
This is why there's no other documentary like it, because there's nowhere else that you can see anything like that.
Exactly.
And we were even told when we were there,
right.
People from, like the outside don't usually come and see this.
Yes.
So this is why it's history in the making. There's this kind of little thing here, which is kind of a scent. You can smell it. Smells very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And this was used to put on the rope during like a blessing. So that's another little thing there that's up. And this was the you might have seen it. I do have it. Yeah. Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, that you had to drink it, right?
Yeah. I don't know what is in there. I don't know what is in there, but this was basically when I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but when I was asked to drink this, I was asked to stand up, because if you drank it sitting down, they believe that you wouldn't be able to get up. Where if you drink it while you're up, then your opponent would not put you down. Man. So this is bits of the potion that they had me drink. I don't know what it is, but when you shake it, it goes darker. I don't know what it is like.
It goes dark.
Yeah. And there's this little guy. I don't even know if I'm meant to be showing this. The people of the north might not. I don't know, but let me just. So there's this little guy. This is the charm. So mostly.
You know what? Don't show. Don't show it.
I don't.
Let them see it in the film.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Well, basically, yeah. There's something. There's a lot of little hints and stuff that go on in the film that I want to kind of touch on later on in months to come, just to see if people notice stuff.
Right.
And that could be something that to see if they notice. But
this is
yeah, these are me little things.
This is, and I talk to Luke almost every day. Like he's a Liverpool fan. I'm an Arsenal fan, so I tell him how awesome Arsenal is every day, and he loves it. I'm actually surprised he's not wearing an Arsenal jersey today. Anything he tells you is about that is not true. Just believe me. I am.
It's in there with the juju.
So I talk to him every now and then, but I never knew he had all of this, which is amazing. He was telling me before this podcast is like, this is gonna be the best, one of the best podcasts the editions you had. I didn't know he had all of this with him, which is I'm glad. I love when people keep memories, and that's amazing. I think this is an important question, and I want to ask you this question because this is Game Plan Africa, and it's mostly about it's about Africa, really. I just need you to, in few words, how did this trip to Nigeria to participate in Dambe, how did it reshape your view of Nigeria? I know we've talked about how people have wrong misconceptions, or wrong perception about Nigeria and some parts of it. But how did this reshape your view, Luke, of Nigeria and African culture in general?
Well, to be fair, when I come back, I felt it was very strange, but I almost felt like homesick for certain parts. I really missed the people of the north, as I've always stated, and just people of Nigeria in general. They're very spiritual. A lot of them that I've met, and that's they don't rush. In my community here, there's a lot of rushing around and doing stuff, and we don't appreciate the little things sometimes. And I think a lot of people in my community will agree with that. Because we've got to be somewhere at a certain time, and when eventually when we got to the north, everything kind of slowed down, and I seen a lot of appreciation for the smaller things. And that was something that really stopped me in my tracks, and thought, this is something that I really need to take back with me, to start just appreciating little things, or appreciating the moments as it's there. And yeah, it's a place that is very spiritual, and it's definitely made me look at my life in kind of a spiritual way. There's a lot that's gone on there, even during the fight, that I have to double take. I've watched a lot of videos, and I started thinking, why like little things, I don't want to give anything away, but little things happened, and I thought, why did that just happen? Is that the juju, or is that something else? Is this because of his spirituality? What is going on?
Right.
But there was a lot of things that happened that made me question reality. And I think the Nigerian people is they're definitely people that I want to be able to see again in their home of Nigeria, and experience just Nigeria again with them, because there was a lot of love and a lot of appreciation, and that comes from me as well. A lot of love and a lot of appreciation for the way people have treated me.
I'm going to keep something you just mentioned there. I'm going to keep that for the last question about, would you like to do this again? What is in the future when it comes to doing something similar? But I'll end this with that. So, okay, we're going to do what I call quick fire questions. All right, we're going to end with that. I certainly love this podcast. I want us to do a part 2. As the film is, people are watching, we'll probably have to jump on and do another one. Quick fire questions. One, what is the toughest Dambe technique you had to learn? 30 seconds.
Toughest Dambe technique I had to learn was, I think it was being able to move through the sand. That was something that I didn't expect that was going to be so difficult.
One Nigerian food you still crave?
Suya.
This guy came to Lagos and he knew the suya spots more than me that have lived in Lagos. Like, he was telling me, I know somewhere I can take you in Lagos too. I'm like, dude, you just came here yesterday. Did you ever consider quitting? I think you touched on this, but you can answer it again. Did you ever consider quitting midway, or what kept you going?
There was a lot of tough times I experienced there, in the hotel room, mentally, and different things, just with it being outside my comfort zone. But no, I truly believe that this was my destiny, and someone with a destiny is not easily stopped. So no.
What is one thing that you hope viewers walk away after watching Dan Bature Kudawa?
There's a saying that I heard somewhere, it's not mine, but our destiny is not written for us, it's written by us. and I like to think I've written my own destiny there, going there. And I'd like people to think if he can come from Birkenhead, go all the way there and make history, then I can do something like that too.
Okay, the final question on this quick fire questions is, after watching yourself in the film, how does it feel? Is it surreal? Is it emotional? Are you proud? Or is it all of the above?
Do you know, this is going to sound like an old cliche or whatever, but I've watched the documentary now a few times, but I try not look back at things that I do. I don't know why, because I think even if I don't like some stuff, I can't change it now.
Right.
So it's there. So let people watch it. But yeah, I think looking back, I'm glad that I visualized it beforehand, and now it's there, and I'm just made up of the journey I've got, and I'm made up to be able to show people what we've done. So I just feel proud when I see it.
All right, so we're going to end with this. I know on the side we've had this conversation as well. I think I even asked you in that documentary as well, what is next for Luke Leyland?
To be honest, I'm very, very dedicated to keep doing things like this. I want to travel the world, Charles. There's an opportunity here to travel the world and find so many different combat sports with so many different cultures, and make more documentaries like this. I truly believe that there's so much more out there to do. There's so many much more countries, cultures, and combat sports that I want to be involved in. So yeah, that's my next thing. Whether it's with a big production company, or whether it's with some guy with an iPhone, I'll definitely be doing something like this again soon.
Oh, I thought you were going to say whether it's for this handsome fella that lives in New Jersey. I'm just.
Wasn't it, Charles? 100%. I'd love to work with you again, brother. So jump on board. Let's do it, brother. Let's talk.
I'm fingers crossed. This might happen. I am always available for the challenge, and you know where to find me. It's somebody, if you need me to, come curse somebody out, I can do that as well. If you need me to come be nice to them.
I've heard both sides, yeah, and it's great. It's good stuff, man. I love it.
Well, Luke, I am very grateful for you. I'm saying I'm grateful for you because, again, this is a career-defining documentary for me. You've seen the work that I've done, but this one was different, right? This one was one that I put out a post one day that in my director's statement, I said something about, it took guts, I'm paraphrasing, it took guts for you to do this. And also for me as a filmmaker, it took guts for me to do it because I wasn't in the ring. I didn't throw any punches. Although, if you guys need the next one, I'll probably come in there and be like, nah, I'm playing. I wouldn't do that. That was crazy. But I feel like the courage that it took you, although my courage is nothing compared to yours, but that's the same courage that I tapped into that inspiration. I was like, if this guy can come here and do this, what stops me from, making the film and putting it out in a way where, filming it the way I think people would enjoy it. And I am grateful for the feedback so far. People that have seen it, they love it. They liked how we did it in a way where it was like a point of view, and also bringing people along. It's like people being in the same room with you as you're talking to your family members about the film, and then ending it with facing the camera and saying and talking to the audience, right? You started off as, I'm bringing my family along, for them to see what's going on, because they are sincerely worried about you being there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when it was done, again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody that's watching the film. When it was done, you turned and looked at, the rest of the audience and let them know, okay, this is where I'm going. This is how grateful I am. So long spiel, but yeah, I am grateful for you. I'm grateful for me. We're married to the hip now for a long time. You can't do away with me now. I am I am part of your life. I am I also want to say thank you to Africa Warriors Fighting Championship. They they brought me in to do this. I'm grateful for them. But ultimately, I'm grateful for you making our time to join us on this podcast. This is not the only one. We'll still talk more. We'll come back and do subsequent ones because we are kind of out of time. But yeah, thanks for joining us. And I hope, this is from me now, I am praying that if you've not seen the film, go and see it as many times as possible. Watch it to the point that Prime Video is begging you not to watch anymore. Right? As Nigerians will say, help my career, I beg. Go watch it. It's an hour 12 minutes long documentary. But there is no, and I know how documentaries can be boring, there is no time where you're like falling asleep. You're watching to see what's gonna happen, and before you know it, it's almost an hour, it's almost done, and you're like, man, that went by really fast. So yeah. So I don't know if you have anything else to say.
No, I just, I wanted to say, like, I appreciate everything that you said there, Charles, but, we walked in there together. There was yourself, there was the crew. And I remember saying to the crew just before I left as well, like, we walked in there together. Like, although they might not have been on the sand fighting, they had to be among the crowd recording and like looking, around and stuff. There's a couple of little side stories that happened in there, and there was parts where some of the crowd weren't happy, or the other crowd were happy. So we basically walked into the lines then together. So, and I appreciate walking in there with you all, the crew to the side of me, and I'm just very thankful. So it wasn't just me. We walked in there together, and I'm thankful for that.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us on this, and we'll be looking forward to more exciting stories for Game Plan Africa, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you. Bye-bye.